Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Abu and I'll be making a guide for Conjurer. In the video, I'll be using Shadow Conj, but this guide works for pretty much every Conjurer. This guide will mainly be for Elysium, so it won't be as good for main game. Once again, hello everyone. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with the armor. This build only really works on Shadow Conjure because I'm using Shadow Arcanium, but you can switch this out for your Magic's Arcanium. If that's not good, you can use like an Amelia Cloak or anything like that. I'll put a few builds in the description of the video that work well with Conjure, but this is the armor I'm using right now. If you have a look. This build itself is really strong. Like I said, it's only for Shadow Conjure because of this, but you can replace it. But this is like an incredible build for Conjure. I'll talk about the stats real quick. I am on 150 magic and 130 weapons. You can either go this build, or you can go 160 weapons and the rest in magic. It's between those two builds. Personally, I prefer 150 magic because if I show you, you gain aura and you gain javelin. If you are on 150 magic, I heavily recommend going resistance aura on the magic that you're using, because power and speed, those only work with your magic. They won't work with your weapons. So yeah, resistance aura is the best to go. It gives you a lot more health, especially on, it depends on the magic. Some magics give you more health, some don't, but it is usually the best option. You can also get javelin with 150 magic, which is, it's really strong. Yeah, these are all the spells I'm using. Blast, 100%, javelin, leap. I use forwards leap personally, but you can just go upwards if you want. I really like forwards. The mobility is really good. Beam, I'm using 70% on both. I'll probably say I'm using 70% on beam because it does more damage, but it goes further. With 100% beam, it doesn't go as far, which is why I recommend going a smaller beam. Snare, I don't really use snare, I can't lie. It's not really reliable. 5x leap. I've got my aura and I've got a place explosion. Now I'll talk about the weapons real quick. Okay, so if you are 160 weapons, use green wish staff. But if you're 150 magic, use iron staff. You need a staff basically on your magic. I heavily recommend it. The skills I'm just using the normal skills, piercing gale and knocking blitz. You can put scour thrust if you really want, but no one uses spell thrust, man. So staff, and then the second weapon I recommend using is either sunken sword, dual old katanas, or kai saber. Sunken sword is the best in my opinion because it has rising tide, which is an incredible move. So yeah, rising tide, flying slash, whirlwind, and flash strike. All these moves work really well together. Flash strike is a great move. Into rising tide, you can pretty much use all these moves like together. So I've got that. I've also got the dual old katanas with soaring eagle and mirrored river. Now, if you are 160 weapons, you can use normal dual katanas, and you can put shining cycle or whirlwind on as like a third move. But if not, then it's just these two moves. There's also kai saber, flash strike, flying slash, whirlwind. Same as on sunken sword, which is why I think sunken sword is just a better kai saber. But kai saber is also good. It's a lot faster. I kind of forgot to talk about the enchants, but on staff, I recommend using either Swift or Ardent. It depends on the magic relay, but I much prefer using Swift because the damage increase is quite nice. Now, I'll talk about the final weapon, which, in my opinion, the last weapon, PTD, Sanguine, or Musket. Any of these three work, but Musket is the best by quite a lot. Dagger is not great anymore because of the clash rates. I think they are buffing it next update, but the clash rates are really bad. So on Musket, I just have piercing shot. I just have the normal moves basically. Damage on Musket is insane. It's really good. Now the difference between PTD and Sanguine, you might just think PTD is better because it applies poisoned, but Sanguine does do more damage. So in my opinion, it's better to use Sanguine if you land your dagger throws more often. If you don't land them as much, then use PTD because it applies poison. which does eventually do more damage, but it does take a long time to do the damage, which is why I just prefer to use Sanguine, because it does more damage and if you land it more. I'm using Ardent. You can either use Ardent, Swift, or Tempered. I don't really recommend using Tempered ever, unless you've got really good aim, or you're using like a high attack speed magic. But Ardent or Swift is usually the best option. Now I'll do a few 1v1s just to show off the playstyle of Conjurer. I do have a few montages on Conjurer. I have 2 on Shadow and 1 on Plasma. In my opinion, I think I forgot to mention, Shadow Conjurer is the best Conjurer. The damage, speed, and size is all really good. It's really simple to use too. Yeah, I do heavily recommend Shadow, but you can. The rest of the Conjurers are pretty good. I will show a tier list at the end of the video with all the magics on Conjurer. Again, this is for Elysium. This is not for main game. For main game, it's a lot different than Elysium. But I mean, you can use this guide for main game too if you really want, but it won't be as reliable. Okay, now I'll show some 1v1s now.